Welcome. So it's phone season. The Sony Xperia 5 Mark II, the Google Pixel 5, the iPhone 12s. You might be looking to get one of these new smartphones for the camera features, but you might be making a mistake. This is the Xperia 1 Mark II, Sony's flagship smartphone with a powerful triple camera system with manual controls. And here is the Sony ZV-1, one of the best pocket cameras available, which packs a ton of capabilities at a lower price in a compact size. The honest truth is that many people are better off buying a camera like the ZV-1 rather than a new smartphone. And in this video, I'm going to explain why. I bought both of these this year and have been using them for a few months. This is a realistic comparison. I'm not saying that one is clearly better than the other. It all depends on what matters to you. There are 6 big factors to cover. I'm going to cover 3 of them in this video, and make sure you're subscribed so you can see part 2 where I'll cover the rest. And make sure to hit that like button while you're at it. So all 3 of these factors revolve around control. And the first one is control over the aperture. Now with smartphones like the Xperia, the aperture can't be changed on the lens. So when we take a photo like this of this hydrant, we get some background blur, but we can't really configure how much background blur we want. Now with the ZV-1, we actually can change the aperture of the lens because there is an aperture priority mode as well. Now we take the same sort of photo here and you can see that we have a little bit of background blur, but since we can change the aperture, we can here make the background more clear, or we can open up the aperture to 1.8 here, and now the background is even more blurry. And this sort of control is what we get when using dedicated cameras, and something smartphones still struggle with today. And this is why we have portrait modes in phones today. But shots like this can still be tricky for portrait mode to really get the subject in focus. And it's worth noting that if we zoom in here with the ZV-1, the background gets even more blurry. So next is control over the zoom. With cameras like the ZV-1, the zoom is continuous. So we can stop anywhere in between that 24 to 70 range and get a high quality shot. With smartphones like the Xperia, a lot of them have like triple camera systems. If we stop anywhere in between, it's going to be a digitally zoomed photo. So if we take a look at an example here, here's a shot of a barn with the Xperia at 24mm. Looks pretty good. And here's the same shot with the 70mm. Now if we take a shot in between here and zoom in, you'll notice that the texture on the roof of the barn is lost. Now if we take a similar shot with the ZV-1 at a similar range, you can see that we still have that level of detail. And it's because phones are having to digitally zoom in between those ranges. It's also worth noting that smartphones like the Xperia have ultra-wide lenses. So we can get shots like this that the ZV-1 can't. And this is a trade-off that we have to deal with. So third is control over the settings. Now with smartphones like the Xperia 1 Mark II, we get quite a bit of control, especially with the built-in Photo Pro and Cinema Pro apps. But cameras have even more control. And cameras like the ZV-1 have quite a bit of control in the video area. With the ZV-1, we get picture profiles, where we can record in S-Log2, S-Log3, in the Cine modes, which give us a lot of options for getting the colors that we want, and then being able to tweak the colors when we edit. It also has an ND filter, which enables cinematic video by allowing us to slow down the shutter speed in bright conditions. And this is really convenient to have inside the body. It's worth noting that even with the Xperia phones, the Sony-sponsored films that were created, the filmmakers had to use ND filters and clip them on the phone to get that cinematic footage. In summary, there are many factors to consider when deciding between a smartphone or a camera as your next purchase. Smartphones tend to pack clever automatic modes and image processing, which is all very helpful when you're starting out, and if you want an automatic shot. But as you go deeper into the world of photo and video, you'll probably find yourself craving more control. And while phones like the Xperia 1 Mark II have pushed the boundaries on what a manual camera can be in a smartphone, a dedicated camera like the ZV-1 still offers quite a bit more control. And it's really a stepping stone on the path to professional cameras, if that interests you. So in this season of new smartphones, we're going to see many new flashy camera features. And while they're fun and some of them are useful, the depth of control that you get on a dedicated camera might be more fulfilling for you in the long term. Because the deeper you dive in, the more you'll learn and the more you'll discover. If you decide to buy the ZV-1 or the Xperia, consider using my link below. As a small channel, I greatly appreciate it. And if you are looking at the Xperia for the camera features, I think the 5 Mark II is a great option. Hopefully you found this helpful. If so, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for part 2, where I'll cover the other 3 big reasons to pick up a camera like the ZV-1. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.